Just now, the A380, the very first air flight, landed at Beijing Daxing International Airport, and the whole flight time is around 30 minutes. After 5 minutes, a second flight from Eastern Airlines, A350, will be landed at another runway, and at 9:40, according to the plan, that's the type B747 from Air China will also be landed, and also another flight after Air China, as will be B787 from Xiamen Airlines, will be landed. So after 11 o'clock, so 3 flights will take off, and a flight from Xiamen Airlines will take off from the North Airline, and that's the airline for taking off. So this is the Airliners land at the new Beijing Daxing International Airport. So we talk about how we can control the airplanes in the air, because we have all these different air routes. So this air route actually is like a 3D dimensional. So think about from your parking lot to the second ring or the third ring. So all these flight procedure actually is the procedures from your parking lot to the second ring or the third ring. So who involved? That's the ATMB, that's the Air Traffic Management Bureau. And this time, Daxing Airport actually belonged to the China North ATMB. So that's today also a very fine day. That also involves the related departments to work together. So we talk about we provide navigation for the flight, and we also have the radar. We like the radar, and also like the WeChat. We also verify the communication. So besides verification of communication equipment, we also will see the landing procedure. So we need to make sure everything should be 100% safe. So the testing actually is very important, because the main purpose of today is want to verify a flight procedure. That's including the taking off, landing, and approaching. Right now, I'm inside the A380. A380 just landed this morning. And today we have 4 flights from 4 different airlines. So all these 4 airplanes actually arrived in the Beijing Capital International Airport yesterday. So at 7:30 this morning, a crew and supporting staffs actually had the final check. And according to the plan, 8:50 a.m. this morning, and they will be taxiing. And from 9 o'clock, they will take up one after another, heading to Daxing International Airport. Actually, all these 4 airplanes actually choose the most advanced flight types because we want to verify the new airplane. Normally, the case is that we would like to test the most frequent used airplane or the largest size of the airplane. So that is why we choose these 4 types of flights. So in China and also around the world, these 4 types of airplanes are quite frequently used. Like this is an A380. So A380 is from China Southern Airlines. Of course, this is the largest one. And we are at the 1st floor, and we also know the A380 actually have 4 floors. It's like the 3 size of a tennis court. So it's including 506 seats. Because today is trial flying, so there is no passengers. So we all have the working staff from CAA and also the media staff will be on board. So we talk about why A380 for the first airplane for trial. So we talk about A380. So we test the lands, the wets, and also the strengths of the airport. So we will see whether the Daxing Airport reach the level of 4F. So we talk about as long as Daxing can provide service to A380, can the airport provide service to all different kinds of the airplanes. So look at this is captains to perform the testing job today. So A380 will test for 4 items. So we talk about the incoming, outbound procedures, approaching procedures. So we will look at the navigation and also the land navigation can meet the requirement. From the Beijing Capital International Airport to the Daxing Airport, actually the flying time is really short, less than 30 minutes. But just within this short time period, the whole crew team actually have a full list of work to do. We have 4 captains, so it's not following the have the a very rich experience, the crews, and also the chief captain also have the highest level of competence, and we also have the top group of captains to perform today's job.
这事可忙坏了空管的小伙伴了。他们为飞机量身打造了密密麻麻天路，不同于普通道路，这些天路是立体的，像是空中立交桥。如果把机场比喻成车库，把航路航线比喻成2环、3环，那么从车库出发到环路之间的这段路程就是飞行程序。飞行程序主要由空管部门参与设计。 华北空管局是北京大兴国际机场飞行程序的设计师，试飞就是对这些天空中新增道路的安全性和合理性进行验证。 一架飞机从起飞到降落，需要空管多个部门的全力配合。地面导航台像灯塔一样为飞机拨开迷雾，直冲云霄。甚高频无线电听着玄乎，其实就像平时用的微信对讲机，让管制员与飞行员随时通讯，只是不能聊家常哦。飞机在空中看不见摸不着，管制员们靠着这些先进设备，指引他们按照飞行程序平安起降。一个参数，一个环节，一句指令出现问题，都是人命关天的大事。要想飞，先修路，千万次起降始于是非。有了这些靠谱的飞行程序，起落安好，便是晴天。
就是在今天进行试飞任务的首架起飞的南航 A380的机舱里面。那刚刚在这个登机的过程当中
So right now we are inside the cabin of A380. A380 just landed. And we talk about, actually, today we have 4 airplanes to perform the verification procedures. So the 4 airplanes from Air China, so we talk about we have 4 airplanes from Air China, China Southern Airlines, China Eastern Airlines, and from Xiamen Airlines. We talk about as a new airport put into service. So they need to go through the flight verification procedures and also take into consider that the new airport should be capable to accommodate the largest size of airplanes. So that is why A380 also in the list for today's trial flight. So that is why we are here inside the A380. So A380 with 2 levels inside the cabin. So the overall the area is 550 square meters, like these 3 tennis courts. And today, because it's for testing, so no passengers on board. And today we have the staffs from the AA and also the media staffs. So we talk about why A380. Because we talk about this giant actually have the higher requirement to the airport. So we talk about actually we have the highest requirement to the airport. So we talk about as long as the Daxing International Airport can meet the requirement, the A380, then it's really capable to accommodate all different size types of airplane. And look at the captains. So according to the A plan and arrangement made by the CAA, the A380 will verify the 4 procedures. So we look at all these work actually to verify the Daxing Airport design and also the ground navigation systems. And according to the air crew, the flying time from Beijing Capital International Airport to Daxing Airport is just around 30 minutes. Time is short, but actually they have a whole list of to-do. So we will really see how they can work really together. And actually there are 4 captains today, and it's not like the previous, like we have 1 chief captain and 1 assistant captain. Actually today we have 3 captains. The main captain, Mr. Zhang Tao, with 25 years of flying, and he actually is the master of 380. So we talk about actually today we touch great importance to the testing, and we have the strongest team.
非常完美的降落在北京大兴国际机场，对我们建设者来说，迎接通过了一次重要的考试。在今天的这个降落，刚才这个。
So today is a big day. It's like a test day. So the first flight from China Southern Airlines, A380, of course, is the largest Big Mac we can talk about. So that's the around the world. And the second is A350 from China Eastern Airlines. And the third one is B747 from Air China. And the last one, B787 from Xiamen Airlines. So we talk about the Western number 1 runway, actually for A380 and a B787. So why this one? So we talk about actually the whole airport design according to the F level requirement, and A380 actually also belong to the F type airplane. So we talk about the Western 1 runway actually meet the requirement for F type and really approach close to the terminal. So this is as the western side of the A terminal. And we also would like to verify the number 2. So like A350, that's according to the E type. So we will see the number 2 runway at the western side can meet the requirements. So we will have A350 from China Eastern Airlines will be landed here. And if we talk about the Air China one, so that will be landed as DA Eastern. So we will see DA whether that's the Eastern runway is good for the B747 from Air China, and we also will testing the landing and taking off, and also the fast speed taxiing. And we talk about actually there will be 2 flights landed at the Western number 1 runway, but what about the north one? Actually, we talk about there is one runway at the north part that's also with a special arrangement and a design, because this one actually for taking off. We talk about actually the runway here in Daxing Airport. It's 3 vertical, 1 horizontal. So we want to save the cost and also have the highest efficient operation. And also based on the terrain. So we take all different considerations into mind, and right now we have these runways featuring 3 horizontal, 3 verticals, and 1 horizontal. So today we will have the B787 from Xiamen Airlines will take off from the north runway. So we talk about today they will land here and take off again, right? So today, basically, we will test all these 4 runways. So we talk about today. So the whole everything will be completed by the end of June, and by the end of September, we'll put in service. So today, actually, with great significance. And today, actually, we want to verify the whole airport can meet a design purpose and also the standards, and also make sure all the operation can work together safely and smoothly. And this is actually also the precondition before the final completion, and only we pass the verification can we approach to the final testing by the industry. And today just the phase 1, and we also have phase 2 and the phase 3. For phase 2, we will basically test the low visibility. And for phase 3, we will check all the facilities. So this is the whole arrangement made by CA. So through these 3 phased verification, we want to make sure the Daxing Airport will open to the public, featuring safety and efficiency. Thank you so much. So the chief designer actually mentioned one word. So we talk about not only for today, actually we have also another 2 rounds of testing. We talk about the safety actually, as the chief designer mentioned for many times. Like we have the 3R vest with us because this is a requirement by the control tower. And also this morning we arrived at 6 o'clock. And we look at all the ground staffs actually made their final checks on the runways. You can see no cars allowed. And also look at actually all the media staffs should only allowed to stay here. So you can see we're also not allowed to cross the runways, and we also need to put on these kind of 3M reflection vest. So this is the safety area. We need to stay here, wait until all the flying procedures completed. So actually, all the media outlets, you can see, they arrived here very early. And we believe today all eyes on the Daxing International Airport. And I believe our viewers must have a lot of questions. We talk about why A380 choose the Western #1 runway, and also how these all different runways work together. I believe all these questions reflect people's high expectation, because we talk about Beijing Daxing International Airport is most advanced airport with a lot of high technologies. And of course, stay tuned with CGTN. We will also introduce more details to you. So we talk about there are 4 runways. We talk about Western #1, #2, and also the one runway at the eastern side, and also have one at the top that's at the north part. So we talk about actually there is one runway at north. So actually this one was special design. This can increase the efficiency, like if we have encountered the extreme weather. So we talk about a lot of the flights. So like the original plan, they should fly head to south, and they have to fly to north first and then make a turn. So if we have this north runway, it really helps to fly, especially in a big windy day. So save a lot of energy for the airplane, and also shorten the flying time. So this is a very special design here at Daxing International Airport, and the whole airport will be finally completed at June 30th, and also at the 30th of September. Very smooth way. It's not that easy. So we talk about the controllers. They are the ones to make everything operate in order. Of course, we have the airlines and air routes. It's like the bridges. Think about this. Like you have your car, and from your parking lot, head to second ring or third ring. So we talk about the routes from your parking lot to the runways. That's the flight procedures. So the North China ATMB is the controller for Daxing Airport. So we talk about actually they are the one to verify the safety and feasibility of the runways. Of course, it's not just a one-man show. It's related to all different departments to work together. We talk about the control towers, and we talk about the communication equipment like the WeChat. The pilots, the captains need to keep in contact with the ground controllers. And also we talk about we rely on the technologies to make sure the airplanes take off and land safely. We talk about all the parameters, the procedures should be 100% safe. Otherwise, it will have a really unimaginable tragedies can be happened. So this is the North China ATMB.